Well, let's see. Are we live? It says we're live. Well, hello everybody. How you doing? I'll turn down the subliminal programming in the background, but it's like really good programming. It really is. So, hello everybody. Favor be unto you all. Just so good to see you. Thank you for being part of the experience, and what an experience it is. And uh, I'm just driving the bus, but we got lots of goodies on the bus, and got your favorite beverage, and so sit back and just enjoy the journey. Hello, Kent Cook. How you doing? Let me just speak favor over all of us. Yes, we all need it. Hey, listen, that's that treasure kind of stuff you build up for the next reiteration. Yeah, carry yourself your favor bank account. That's what I'm talking about. Nothing missing, nothing broken. Hey, Lost in Space, how are you doing? Hello, Kaz. Hey, speaking of Kaz, let me show you. I mean, I tell you, you want to. This has been one of those weeks where you just, hey, folks, I cry. I mean, it's just it's who I am. I'm a human. I'm a something. But Kaz wrote this for me, and give me 1 second as I turn off the other sound. And where are you? There you are. Yeah, that's all right, folks. Just be patient, and we'll get there. Let me just stop the share for a minute. Sharing the love. Kind of reminds me of a group back in the 70s. Where is the love? All right. So, Kaz, I want to show this to everybody out there. So, y'all enjoy this. Kaz, big hugs. Love you, kiddo. So, here we go. Let's just do this. Ready for this? Get full screen here for everybody. She wrote, composed, and played this. Thank you, Kaz. Man, she's good. This gave me happy feet. You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. I think David Barry left a link too in the chat. Hi, David Barry. Kaz, you're a wizard. That's all I got to tell you, girl. High priestess. And I like your universe. That's what I'm talking about. Talented, I'm telling you. Magic is everywhere. I love this. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, I'll leave the link. And Kaz, thank you, hon. Fantastic. That's all I've got to say. Wow. Honored And wow. Well, what do you say after that? You just, you know, just want to go out and give a big old hug. That's all I got to say. Love you, dear. Um, tell you, we've got masters here, and Kaz is just, as you can see, very gifted, very talented. Love the vibe. And, you look at her work, David Barry's work, Big Al's work. I mean, um, yeah, yeah. What a community. Hey, Robert V, good to see you. Spirit Girl, hello. Infant Frequencies. Merrick, good to see you. And Hillard, hello. Chloe, good to see you. David Castle, I want to say thank you, Sarah Horton. Thank you so much. Um, I tell you, there is a saying that says that a word spoken at the right moment, how sweet it is, and how it doeth like a good medicine. It's like laughter. Um, so, uh, Kaz, that's just fantastic, hon. And we're going to have Kaz on. Going to get her on next week. With Trina and I, we've got Franny, her, Big Al, and another. She's going to start. Um, what is that, Al? I don't know if I'm breaking the news too early, but it's fantastic. It's just another psychedelic. So it's anyway, I messed it up, but anyway, so excited to have Franny on. Anyway, all of y'all need to come on. That's all I got to say. Quit being shy. Deborah, you need to come on. Robert V, Infant Frequencies, all of y'all need to come on and share the love, right? So the card today in meditation was. Does anyone, do you see it? Do you see it? All right, it was the black square. And I had so much fun with these cards. I got to tell you, this is a interesting energy on these. Something's up with these cards. I don't know. When I'm off the air, like first thing this morning, said, well, I'm going to pull a card. What did I get? Yeah, the sickle, the same one. It comes up freakishly way too often. So let's just have some fun. I've kind of have no idea what these cards are. I want to put them so I can't see them and you can't see them. All right, and I don't know. Let's just get the energy right. And let's see what card we pull up for us today. Oh wow, how about that? All right, so for the group, you can practice by yourself. That's what I've been doing with them. Really soaking them with my energy, and so yeah. So this is interestingly enough. Give me 1 second here. Wow, folks, this is going to blow y'all away. Is that just not the coolest thing? So it's the corona. Look at the crown. And this card means, are you ready for this, folks? Victory, conquest, judgment. And then the reverse of the card itself is burden. So very interesting deck of cards. They're called, for everyone who wants to know, the Black Prism Oracle cards. There's 15 of them. And anyway, kind of interesting. You can actually use these in conjunction with your tarot deck. Yeah, it's quite interesting. And it's just got a cool vibe to it. It really does. It's like, yeah, man, I can dig that. So anyway, there we go. When we get finished with this, we're going to do some revisiting. Um, we're going to revisit. I've had a number of people. This is a book I would recommend everybody getting, The Fundamental Book of Sigil Magic. And it will teach you, you know, how not only to create your own, but how to use these, how to incorporate them into your own particular style. I use these, I really do. And when you start drawing them out, like on the concrete floor, right? You get really up close and personal with them. And it's really interesting because if you put the crystals around there as you're drawing these sigils out, wow, the intent and whatever your ritual is. And rituals are not anything to be afraid of. We do, all of us do routines every day. That's a ritual. It's just what kind of ritual are you going to have? Taking a shower is a ritual. I lay hands on myself. You should too. You should speak favor over yourself. Speak nothing missing, nothing broken. Start confessing that into your life. And I want to tell you what, everything starts to jive then. I mean, you get into the groove and it's really, really something that, yeah. So we're going to revisit that. And I've gotten some emails on spells. So we're going to do a whole thing on spells. I've got numerous books, printed and digital, on spells. And yeah, they work. You add your faith to it, baby, there's nothing that can stop you. You can see I have great couple. She actually knitted my sigil for prosperity. And her husband actually went and did it in metalwork, and it hangs proudly over the entrance into our house. Why not? I mean, if it's not your abode, then what is it? You know, I still got what some could term angels. I call them ministering spirits, stand guard around my property 24/7. Don't worry about it. You know why? Because I know they exist, and I know that they're here to serve me. And there is a class of spirit being that are sent here to serve us. The sad reality is, vast majority of them die of boredom. They don't die of boredom, but they literally become almost non-existent. Why? Because people don't believe in them. And if you don't have belief from mortal man, then you don't have anything. So, you know, and there's plenty of works that validate that. They're there. You just have to have them ready to go. I tell people this all the time. I have legions. You know, they stand ready to do my bidding. And you have to understand, they don't see things in good or bad. They're there just to serve me, and they're there to serve you as well. Now, you may not believe that. That's cool. Doesn't matter. Yeah. But when you do, you know what? Nothing like having your own personal bodyguards. You know what I'm talking about? You got favor. That's a huge bodyguard. But there are spirits that, again, you know, so it's true. They're my posse, as I would say. So let's giddy up. So speaking of that, one of the things that most people make the biggest mistake about on money is they're one-dimensional in its view. You start casting spells of prosperity, now we're talking a different game here. Now, I've gotten Ball Cottam books. He's had a couple. He's got one that's really good on the Solomon magic. This is the magical rites of prosperity. And you really have to get your head right in understanding what prosperity is. Prosperity is the corona. It's the crown. Because if you have prosperity in abundance, if you have the favor of prosperity, then underneath that crown, you have health, you have wealth, and you don't need to be a freaking multi-billionaire. You have to understand wealth is not what many people think about having something in their bank account. Now, that is part of it. But there is another type of wealth that you just happen to be at the right place and there's a sale going on. You happen to be at the right place and something makes itself available to you where you didn't even have resources in which you thought to get it. There is a group that I know of, I know them personally. They exchange jets. And I ain't talking crappy jets. No, I'm talking, about G4s, Citation 10s. I could go on a list of others. They give jets away. Free, unencumbered. Now, that is, most people can't imagine that, and that is your problem. The book I showed y'all already, and you should, it's a fascinating book on it. You've seen this one, The Masters of Limitation. And that's what most people are. They're masters at limiting themselves and their reality. Now, if you can begin to understand what prosperity means, you'll never be broke the rest of your life, no matter what calamity even befalls you, because you're going to come out of it on top, above, better than you went into it. That is the difference of understanding. Now, I have this on PDF, and you can have it. We're going to be referring to it in the weeks to come. You have to understand that paper money is not wealth. It's the lowest form. It's a tool. The real wealth, the real prosperity is in a different place. And the thing about it is, once you get yourself into the right frequency, hello, Brian, money will come to you. It will naturally come to you. I walk out many a times and I find $20 bills. I find many, many times $100 bills on the freaking ground. Walking out of the grocery store, it's happened so many times. It's not, I'm thankful for it every time. And guess what? I'm also thankful for when I pick up a penny. A penny is money. No different than the $100 bill. And if you get that straight, then you're on your way. So if you want it, and like I said, we'll be talking about it. And that's the difference. You see, you have to have the attitude of gratitude. Whether it's picking up a penny, that happens to be in front of you, or if you happen to walk in and you have a windfall that now you're talking digits. That's how it works, folks. And you can't come in here and perform a magic spell wanting hypothetically $1 million when you haven't cast a spell for 1 penny. And that's how you start out. Because when the penny comes, now you have confidence. I can do a penny. And then you say, well, I can reach out and do $1. And when it manifests, now you're going, okay, if I can do $1, I can do $10. And that's how it works. So anyway, there you go. Hey, Zigzagzilla, good to see you. Yep. It change your life. It will. I kid you not. Okay. Let's get right into the book, because this is the last bit of this you're really going to dig. I'm telling you, you're just going to dig it. All right. The Galactic Council of Elders. The Council of Elders are the wise and loving guardians of our galaxy. The council gave us a set of choices. Now, remember, we're talking about Yahweh's kids, and we're talking about Luciferians. Luciferians are the bringers of knowledge. They are the beings. They're the light beings. They bring catalysts for change. Because apparently Yahweh's kids, they're a bunch of lazy, malcontent group. If they're not nudged, they become sedentary. Anyway, that's just how it is. We choose to stay here to help you, despite the cost to ourselves. That is the nature of loving service to others. The ultimate paradox in this storyline, we are all co-creating together. Is that in order for us to be of the most service to you? Yeah, we must be utterly self-serving. I do so love our Creator's sense of irony. Our initial contract was to introduce the catalyst of free will on this planet. When Yahweh began discourse with the Council of Elders, he was not initially looking for help with introducing free will, but rather for guidance on how he could best speed up his and his inhabitants' evolutionary process. Now, commentary. Look at what just got said there. The God of the Bible, the God of the Torah, and you could basically say the God of the Quran, is in fact Yahweh. And you can see that even Yahweh has an evolutionary process. Interesting. He was basically running a benign dictatorship. We have read that so many times in so many other books. We had at the time just completed an assignment on Tuceti and had reported for our next duties. We, as a group soul, Lucifer, were sent on a fact-finding expedition to visit Earth. Doesn't this sound like Ariel? Yeah. And meet with Yahweh to evaluate his planetary creation laws and make suggestions on how best he could help his offspring. This is the term I shall use to describe the individuals who comprise the group soul, and thusly Yahweh, to progress. We explored many options and reported our findings to the council and to Yahweh. It was our best evaluation that the only real and fast track way to increase his involvement meaningfully was to introduce the introduction of free will. It was not specifically free will that Yahweh wanted help with. I guess not. He simply asked for the introduction of a catalyst. Be careful for what you wish for, right? He was not all pleased with our report that he needed to implement free will. He was happy with his little pet paradise, and he didn't want to lose control of it. In the end, the council persuaded him that it was in the best way, like, hey, we got a deal for you. And he reluctantly agreed. How many of you ever saw The Freshman with Marlon Brando and Matthew Broderick? Watch it. Great movie. Anyway, we returned to Earth and had a cordial meet. I'm sorry. When I see the word cordial and Yahweh put together, I mean, that's an oxymoron in the big time, man. I mean, but anyway, I digress. Had a cordial meeting with Yahweh. Wouldn't you just love to have been a fly on the wall on that one? Discussing how we could best implement the free will option. Yahweh was adamant that his offspring would choose to be loyal to him anyway, and that they were so content with their way of life that they would always trust him and do as he said. That, he said, was his main reason that free will would not work well as a catalyst. Oh, really? That's why he agreed to the experiment of the tree of knowledge. He believed it would prove him right. When it did not, he became angry and threw his offspring out of the garden. He laid a big guilt trip on them about how they had broken his trust and disobeyed him. That was not an honorable way for the Logos, meaning God, to behave. But hey, that's the beauty of free will, I guess. Next problem to occur was that his offspring were so grateful to us for our help that Yahweh became, in his own admission, a jealous God. And go into the Old Testament. It's in the Torah. Jealous dude. Remember when we were reading the Masters of the Far East, they kept asking, why do you worship this angry God? Then we had the whole, you shall have no other gods before me thing. We were not pleased with the situation at all. As a Logos, and remember, Yahweh is not the creator of everything. He's just the creator of this planet, not even this galaxy. Should not be behaving like this with his offspring. In other words, he was throwing a tantrum. He was throwing a conniption fit, as the old terms would say. When we attempted to leave the planet to return to the council, Yahweh prevented our departure. All I got to say is, really? I don't like this dude. I mean, there's times in my meditation that he tries to come through, and I tell him, I say, you and I don't have any commonality. Any case, now, doesn't this sound like the alien interview? Yeah. When we attempted to leave the planet, he prevented our departure. We tried to leave again, but we were then thrown down into the astral planes and confined therein. You know why some of us don't feel like we belong here and we feel like we've been trying to get out for a long time? Because we have. The council ordered us to be released, but said we would have to cancel our contract to help the souls on earth to evolve. Wow. We didn't want to leave. We found humans very likable beings, really positively polarized, and we wanted to stay and help. Aren't we beautiful creatures? I mean, we may not all be the same on the inside, but man, it's cool to be a human being. It's like, yeah. It's like, I remember back in the day, Studio 54. And, you could get this stamp and, you know, you got to go into the VIP, man. There was no line too long in the VIP line. Anyway, I digress, but this is what it's like to be humans. We just wanted also to be free to come and go as we pleased. Hey, that's a win-win deal right there, right? Well, apparently not with Yahweh. The only way we could stay was to remain confined as a group soul, which meant cycles of incarnation for us as individuated souls, which we had not done for a long while. I think we can all agree this incarnation is a real drag on our energy. That's all I got to say. There is no wrong or right seen from a higher density. That's a hard concept for a lot of people to get into. You either got heaven or hell, you know? You're a sinner or a saint. You know, it's ridiculous. But there are still consequences for every action, such as the law of karmic effect. The contract had already been made between Yahweh, us, and the council for us to provide the catalyst. So we had a right to be here. I had to piss that dude off, huh? We stayed, but as a karmic result of our group's soul's confinement by Yahweh, our own individuated souls were given the mandate by the council to rule over Yahweh's people during our physical incarnations here on your planet. Well, that puts it in a little bit different perspective. These bloodlines, these overlords, these evil people. Yeah. The karmic effect of Yahweh's imprisoning us on the microcosmic level was that his individuated souls, humans, would be imprisoned on the microcosmic level. Let's stop and talk about this. Obviously, we're talking different realms here. And you get the macro, that's the big one. Okay. He imprisoned them there. So that would mean, in essence, they are of a higher intelligence. You could say divine ones, supreme beings. But look what Yahweh did to humans. Sapiens, if you buy the story. I'm not saying I'm buying this. It makes a lot of sense. I don't get where Cro-Magnon, I don't get where the Denisovans, I don't get where Neanderthal plays a role in this. I get the sapien point. I'm just not sure if homo, meaning man, is what's being spoken about here and not the genus of sapiens. I don't know. We found no evidence that Cro-Magnon, many say, was probably Atlanteans of a higher structure. Not to say it didn't happen, there's just no records of it. All right. The karmic effect of Yahweh imprisoning us on the microcosmic level was that his individuated soul humans would be imprisoned on the microcosmic level. The infinite creator gave Yahweh and all the gift of free will to create as we choose. But the karmic effect of his choice was the council's quarantining of the planet. A certain evolutionary level is required to be a functioning part of a positive, unified galactic society. And baby, we ain't that. The veil is drawn. Remember that ultimately, this is a game that we are all playing here. We are actors playing on the stage of life. This world is an illusion or thought form. No one really dies, and no one is really hurt. In between incarnations, you know this very well. But the rules of the game ensure that when you incarnate, you must forget who you really are so that you believe it is all real whilst you're playing the game of life. Forgetting is an essential prerequisite for you to make choices that help you grow. Otherwise, the game would be too easy. It wouldn't be a game at all. Rod Sterling did a great episode of a Twilight Zone where the guy was a gambler and died and wakes up, he wakes up and he's in a room, beautiful hotel suite. Long story short, he goes down into the casino and he never loses. And very quickly, he is sucked into the pit. And there you go. So we want the game to be real. It has to be hard. And in some cases, it has to be really hard. And let me tell you something, folks, little FYI, the more awake you get, sometimes it's going to get more challenging because remember, you're now phasing into different dimensional realms of thought. Think about that one. We are not born with the same veil of forgetfulness as you are. The veil is still in place, but would most accurately be described as being somewhat thinner. We see the invisible connections of life, which are hidden from you, because we retain access to more than just the third density perspective, not dissimilar to the manner in which some people can see what you call auras. This is because you are working your way up, whereas we have chosen to step down in order to help you. We could not do this as successfully if we had to forget all that we have learned. I keep continuing. Let me tell you, don't we feel like that? Those of us who really get into the meditation, when you can do the deep dives, I think sometimes for myself, I get glimpses, but many a time I have felt frustration because I'm right freaking there. I mean, I know I am. There is a veil. Boy, I have seen it in the astro. Oh, man, it's real. It exists. I have done videos on visions I've had with that. It's real. It exists. In other words, to you, everything appears as being separate. We see that this is not the case. We do not have direct soul memory, as in the manner that you remember what you did yesterday. But we may access any portion of our soul memory we so choose when we focus upon it, often in a meditative state. In order to win, or more accurately, be successful in the game, we must be as negatively polarized as possible. Service to self in the extreme. Violence, war, hatred, greed, enslavement, genocide, torture, moral degradation, prostitution, drugs. All these things and more serve our purpose in the game. In all these negative things, we are providing you with tools, but you do not see it. It is not what we do, but how you react to it that is important. We give you the tools. You have the free will choice of how you will use them. You have to learn to take responsibility. There is only one of us here. I want to stop. This hit me, when I read this thing a while back. We can't overlook this. Understand that you will understand this. If you understand this, there is only one of them here. But how can they be a group soul? Fractals? I don't know. Understand that you will understand the game. As you do unto others, so you do to yourself. The difference between us and you in the game is that we know that we are playing. The less you know about the game, the less you remember that you're a player, the more senseless living becomes. Whoa, that's a freaking truth bomb right there. Boom, baby. You've got to remember we are players. This community, this soul tribe, as we get more and more awakened, we're going to realize we're all players and we've come together to play now. Oh, folks, this is what they're afraid of. Hear me. This is what they are deathly afraid of. When groups begin to realize they're coming together to play the game, and we got to have our shit together, folks. That's all I got to tell you. We've got to be in love. Remember, 95%, depending on whose side you're on, or 51%. Suggestions for playing the game. Be good to yourself. Cultivate a genuine love for life and for being. Be genuinely thankful to the infinite creator every day for bringing you into being and for his bountiful provision. And his is just a pronoun. It can be her, could be it. But the whole point is to have an attitude of gratitude. Many times I will find myself just giving thanks. I've learned the preciousness of my consciousness. For decades, I was asleep. If I had ended my time here prematurely, what I would have missed. But because of this group and because of what we have grown over these years, I'm so thankful for my consciousness because my consciousness recognizes you. And though it be virtually, it connects. You have survived thus far, have you not? You may not have everything you want, but you have everything you need in order to complete that which you incarnated here to do. Give thanks for that. Desire to serve flows naturally from a grateful heart. Show acknowledgement and gratitude to the infinite creator for all that it has done and is doing for you. It has given you the gift of life experienced and offered you the free will to decide what you will create with it. You know, again, I love this. This resonates. It's not a dogma. It's not a doctrine. I believe it's a state of consciousness. And I resonate with this state. Guard your thoughts carefully, as they are more powerful than you can imagine. If you see doom and gloom, then that is what you are projecting. The world is your mirror. It reflects back to you what you are putting out. If you do not like the reflection life is showing you, then change that which is causing it. When you are coming from a place of love for and service to your Creator, a life of service to others will become a natural overflowing from that. Always look for ways that you can be of assistance to your fellow beings. Be of encouragement to others. Build people up. Edify them, folks. Do not put people down. Be a beacon of light in a dark world. Does the old lady need a hand with her shopping bag? How do you treat the homeless man who asks you for some spare change for a shelter? Ever heard about angels in disguise? Look and see the divine spark in the heart of all beings. Treat them as you would like to be treated yourself, and as you would your Creator, if he was speaking directly to you. For even as you do it to the least of these, you do it unto me. It is up to you how to use the tools we have given you. Whilst incarnating in the third density, negativity is still an important tool in your learning process. It teaches you other than. Do you respond to negativity with more negativity? Or do you choose to see the negativity as the tool that it is and recognize that it is an offering you an opportunity? All souls eventually learn that positive is the pathway which leads home. There's a big difference between loving yourself and being selfish. When you truly understand what it is to know and to love yourself, you cannot help but to love and serve others. When you understand this at the core level of your being, you will be on the path home. More on our family. Those who are bloodline family are born into it and are raised this way from birth. There is no other way. The bloodline members you readers know are of earthly lineage. Yes, they have their place in the family, capital F. But the real power lines do not originate from this planet. The top of the pyramid is not the top of the pyramid. Above the highest earth line, auspicious of the Supreme World Council, and another higher aspect that cannot be named, are the hidden hands. Not the real names, of course. The world of my own family is very different from that of the lower earth-based bloodlines. Whilst our training growing up was very strict and disciplined, we were never abused in any way. We grew up with the bigger picture and didn't need any other motivation. All of the power lines, off-world bloodlines that comprise the inner sanctum or the hidden hands of the family have certain abilities that third density incarnates do not possess. One of these being the ability to know their entire incarnational past with focused concentration. The earthlines are not aware of the bigger picture. They themselves are not of our Lucifer group soul. As far as they are aware, they are out to rule the world, to control and enslave, and to create as much suffering and negativity as is humanly possible. Folks, if you've got the book that we're going to get, and I'm going to get the author on, holy crap. The Charm of Favor. This resonates perfectly. Yeah. That's what they get out of the deal. World domination. You'd have to say that with that in mind, they're doing a great job. They're doing a hell of a job. They are aware that democracy is an illusion which is created to uphold your slavery. Behind the scenes, there is only one party, our party. Whichever side wins, the family wins. There are many possibilities and alternative scripts, yes. The Rothschilds' lineage, not its original name, by the way, were the preeminent line closing the net of control over humanity. But even they are a lesser line within the family. The names you know do not have the real power. One of the things that Earthlines don't know or understand is that our agenda is ultimately for the highest good of all concerned in providing you with the catalyst. If they were aware of this truth, there is only a slight risk that they would not have done their job properly, and they would miss out on joining us in our 95% negative harvest. They are aware of the harvest and the need for them to attain 95% negativity to get out of the third density. And that is all the motivation they need to help us achieve our ultimate aims. How they go about it is not really of too great of a concern to us, as long as they are getting the job done. Sometimes we have to step in where something they may be doing or planning goes against our desire, but such instances are few and far between. We already know that which awaits us in our coming forth density negative polarity world. We shall have to experience the negativity of our own creation and know what it feels like. That sounds like hell to me, just my opinion. We shall have to work off the karmic effect of our actions. But at the same time, knowing that this is a beautiful and intricate game that we are all co-creating here together, we also know that we shall be rewarded with a hearty thank you and job well done for the sacrifice we have made in bringing this negativity polarity into your game for you, that you may use it wisely to see that which you are not. Remember always that this is a beautiful game that we are playing here and co-creating together with our infinite creator. And that off stage, between lives, we are the very best of friends. No, really, no one really dies and no one really suffers, except in the game. The game is not reality. Reality is reality. And you have the power to express your reality within the game. Once you have learned this, how to do so, you become a game player. My commentary. You can look beyond what your eyes are showing you to find and express love and happiness in a world of fear and distress. If you can, you will be as a beacon of light into the darkness. You will succumb to the darkness, or will you stand and shine your divine inner light? Only you can make the decision for yourself. Wow. If the one infinite creator is infinite and has created everything that is, then does the infinite creator not reside both within and within you and all things? When you can see the divine spark of the infinite creator within yourself and with even those who would mean you harm, the strong grip of the illusion will begin to lose its power over you. Love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. The harvest. We're going to go on until we finish. We're almost done with this. Our goal is a negative harvest for ourselves, not for you personally. We provide the catalyst of negativity for you. It's up to you what you do with it. The drastic extent of the negativity we create has more to do with us than it does with you. The harvest is mixed. Those who are 51% or over on the positive path will graduate to fourth density positive. There you will work upon love and compassion. It will be a very beautiful world to reside within for you. There will be very little negativity, just a small amount, enough that you can still use it to exercise your free will in choosing who you are not. But it will be so more obvious than it is here that negativity is a tool to be used. You will see the interconnectedness of all things, and you will know that you are not separated from one another or from life itself. You will not use words much unless you choose to. Telepathy becomes the normal method of communication. Everything is open. You cannot hide your thoughts from others. From the incarnation in onwards, you will not have to experience third density incarnation again, unless you later choose to do so from higher densities, as we have done, in order to perfect the art of service. Regarding this current great harvest, what we require is for us to personally attain a 95% negative polarity for ourselves, not for you. We must be 95% negative at least in order to graduate to fourth density negative and clear our karmic record of all the negativity we have created on this planet before returning to our rightful place as sixth density guardians of our galaxy and teachers of wisdom to those in lower densities that ask for our assistance. Man, that just blows your mind right there. It's like, well, really? Wow. Okay. I mean, that just, whew. If we do not make it, we will remain trapped in the third density cycle with all those between 50% and 95% negative, what I termed the lukewarm, and have to continue to provide negative polarity there. Harsh as it is, our only way out is to be as negative as possible to graduate. We cannot choose to be positive because that is not what we came here to do for you. That's why I often have referred to all the horrible things we've done here as our sacrifice. The noonday winter solstice sun on December 21st, 2012 is the time when the Lord of the harvest shall return. Well, we're 8 years into that, almost to be. Okay, I don't know what that means, but anyway, finding your truth. Never take what another says to you as truth. Your purpose here is to find your own truth. Sometimes others can help you to do so by offering guidance, but for their truth to become your truth, it must pass through the test of your discernment. Sit quietly in meditation and ask the infinite creator to guide your path. Meditate upon that which I have shared. Listen to your inner feelings. Feelings are the language of your soul. Your essence can never be destroyed. You are a unique part of the one infinite creator. You are an eternal soul currently residing in a physical shell that you shall call an earth suit. Your earth suit will perish, but you cannot die. Nothing can destroy the infinite creator, and you and the infinite creator are one. Our infinite creator longs to be close to us. In truth, he is closer than most would believe. They just don't notice him. As they pass him by on the street every day, when he gives them their change at the shop, when you tuck her into bed, give her a kiss goodnight, when you squash him as he's running up your bathroom wall towards his web, when there's no one else in the room but you. The more we trust in our Creator, the more results we get. Life gives what we expect we'll receive, because all thought is creative. If we get up and expect to have a bad day, more often than not, that's exactly what we'll get. But remember that it works both ways. The main reason people don't have their prayers answered is because they do not really believe that they will. They don't have faith in our infinite creator or have trust in him. The most powerful form of prayer is thanksgiving. For even before you ask, I have already given it unto you. Thanksgiving is knowing that our infinite Creator has provided for you as he promised, and being thankful for that, even before you see the results. Commentary here, since we're going to go over. I learned that when you finally do believe without having to see, you will be as excited as when it be. Think about that. I'm asking the infinite Creator for chocolate cake. Oh, yeah. And I can taste that. I need to wash it down. Man, that's good. I will be having a chocolate cake in my future. Anyway, it's true. We continue. There is no such thing as coincidence. Nothing happens by chance. Life is in a constant process of communication with us. Only mostly people are too busy to notice. Be strong and courageous soul that deep down you know yourself to be. Do not hide your inner light. Trust yourself and shine your light into the darkness. Your soul remembers everything you've ever experienced. The only reason you don't remember it all now is due to what we term the veil of forgetfulness. If you came into each new incarnation with access to your soul memory, there's no point of your coming into space-time. It would be like playing a computer game with all the cheats. You wouldn't learn anything. It takes the fun out of playing the game. Remember that this current physical body you carry around with you is not you, who you are. It's just the vessel of your essence. You who are is real and cannot be destroyed. You will retain all your memories of this life experience once you pass beyond the realm of time, space, or that which some call heaven. The infinite being living within and around your body, namely your soul, is who you really are. The part of you that thinks, that feels, and loves. It will always be a part of you. Pain and suffering are just aspects of the game. They feel extremely real whilst you're playing the game. And indeed, they have to, in order to make you believe that the game is real. No one really dies, but rather the matter of human form is shed, much like the chrysalis of a caterpillar when the butterfly emerges. Look upon the physical incarnation as the chrysalis in which you may transform. Linear time is more accurately described as an intentional fabrication. The true nature of time is cyclical. Though remember also that even cyclical time is part of creation. And creation, beautiful as it may be, is also an illusion, or more accurately, a thought form of our infant Creator. Creation is not real, but the Creator and co-creators of it are. Evil is not who you are. It is part of the complex series of illusions that you use in third density to show who you are not. The further up through the densities you work, less polarity plays an important part in the game. The sixth density, the density of unity, is the last level that polarity is a factor. But even then, it factors in very different way. Instead of balancing positive, negative, you will be balancing love, light, compassion, wisdom. The external reflects the internal. There is a simple method to check upon your progress. Despite what appears to be going on in the world around you, how loving and harmonious are your personal relationships? Remember that the world is your mirror. It casts back to you the reflections of that which you have projected into it. How many arguments do you find yourself engaging in? Is there bitterness and acrimony within the ranks? Do you look at others and think about how you would like to change them? Or do you love them and accept them as they are? Love and accepting someone for who they are is known as unconditional love. That is something you will spend much time working upon when graduating into fourth density positive. It's a good idea to get a head start now. Loving and accepting someone as they are does not mean accepting abusive behavior, but it does mean loving and accepting the person, the soul, not the soul's behavior. The behavior is not who they really are. The soul within is who they are. The quality of your relationships is an excellent mirror from which to gauge the quality of your output. In other words, that which you are creating. Do you look at a person and concentrate to a greater or lesser extent upon the things that you dislike about them and wish would change, or the qualities that you like and admire in them? Remember that we have said that all thought, word, and deed is creative. You get back what you send out. So when you send out the thought, why is she so hard to live with? Or why is he always behaving like this? Ask yourself, what exactly are you doing? Now focus here, as this is so obvious you could miss it. In fact, most do. Take away the question from your sentence, and essentially you are saying, she is so hard to live with, and he is always behaving like this. Do you see what you're doing? You're creating them. Oh, it's weird. You have just created the very behavior that person that you wish to change simply because you do not understand the law of radiation and attraction. Remember, all thought is creative. Now try an experiment. Take someone in your life that you love, but sometimes have trouble getting along with. Think about the thoughts you had projected about that person, the negative thoughts. Ask yourself, does the behavior that you do not like in that person in any way corresponds to the thoughts you've been having about them? If you're honest with yourself, it's a strong bet that it does. Sure, they must have behaved that way in the first place to make you notice that you didn't like it. But we all have off days sometimes. The more you focus on that behavior, the more you are going to see of it. It's just life doing what it does and conforming to your expectations about what it will leave for you. Now, having recognized this, what are you going to do about it? Simply notice your negative thoughts as they arise. Literally, catch yourself as you are having them and change your perspective. Focus instead on the things that you like about this person, how you love their smile, or the sound of their happy laughter, the way they do such and such nice things, how helpful and loving they can be. Keep putting those positive thoughts out. Persevere, as you may have a bit of a negative work to undo first. You created it, but just keep catching yourself and focusing on the positive. Then prepare yourself for an almost magical transformation of your circumstances. Always monitor your thoughts and pay attention to their quality, because what you think about is directly related to what you will see around you and what life will show you. That is the difference between conscious and subconscious creation. Archetypes, dreams, and religion. I think we're going to do this. The universal mind speaks in archetypal imagery. It is a similar way that the writing in some of our Oriental languages uses a system whereby a collection of words or meanings are contained within what is essentially a symbol, so that the universal mind uses archetypes to communicate in dream time. Just like understanding any new dialect, you just need to learn the language. Dreams are a key method our souls use to speak with us. The conscious mind is too busy and distracted most of the time to hear what the spirit has to say. So it tends to use the subconscious mind instead. You only forget who you are during incarnation. The object of the game is to wake up within the dream and, in effect, become a lucid dreamer or a lucid gamer, to remember who you really are during the game, and to then begin working upon the things you came here for. Religion is either actually created or at very least heavily influenced by us. God is a human concept, which is a misunderstanding of the original concept of creator. This is further confused as there are many macrocosmic level creators or logos, as has been explained previously. God implies some separate entity which is outside of you, which you must supplicant to or worship. Our infinite creator and almost all of our logoses, gods, and sublogoses do not want your worship. They want you to understand creation and your place within it as a co-creator. Ultimately, there is a supreme being in the form of the one infinite creator, but we are all a part of it rather than its subjects. None of the names given for this supreme being by your religions are the true name, but they are indeed correct in that there is one supreme being, namely the infinite creator. They just have different concepts about it, which spring from text their religion is based on. Do not worship your infinite creator, but rather live in a state of thanksgiving and service to it for beginning in you will, and service to it for bringing you into being, and for this amazing game it has created, in which we may forget who we really are in order to remember and to know ourselves again as a creator. I was shown many of us have waken up in the game, and it freaked us out. You see, this life is actually a rest time for us. I know it's opposite of what we've been taught and are shown. This life is a dream. You and I are dreaming it right now together. Now, if we could wake up together, that's the key. In which we may forget who we really are in order to remember and know ourselves again as the creator. Satan is a human invention. It is the personification you have given to all the negativity that has existed on this beautiful planet. You didn't know who to blame. And as you could not find it within yourselves to take personal responsibility, Satan was created to absolve yourselves. Get rid of it. The minute you get rid of this paradox, God and Satan, you've just awakened again. Hear what I'm saying? You are not doomed. You and your soul does not require salvation. No one's soul does. There is nothing to save it from. At the very worst, you will have to repeat as many third density cycles as is necessary in order for you to learn the things you need to learn, in order to progress and graduate to fourth density positive. But one thing is for sure, you will get there in the end. All will find their way home to our infinite creator. Your purpose in the game. Your main purpose in the game is to work upon yourself. It is to grow, develop, and transform yourself into a more positive and loving being. You had certain goals that you planned to achieve before you incarnated here. which is the main reason for the veil of forgetfulness being in place. If you already knew what your goals were, the game would be over. It'd be too easy. Look at the things in your life that you most love to do. Ask yourself, what makes you most happy? Experience these things as often as possible, as they will be related to some of the things you choose to put into your soul contract to do here. Also, look at the negative things that often seem to recur during your lifetime. It will be highly likely that these are the things that you chose to work upon. Let us say, for example, that you choose to come here to work upon patience during this incarnation. You will likely find that you have a tendency towards impatience, and that life will often bring many experiences to you in order to test your patience. The idea being that rather than losing your temper, you work upon your impatience and resolve to become more temperate and a patient soul. The same analogy may apply to all manner of circumstances in which life will test you. Look for and begin to identify any recurring issues that you perhaps struggle to deal with. Identify issues which seem to present themselves to you time and time again. Perhaps anger, being abusive, selfishness, hatred, cynicism, and the list goes on. Whenever you find recurring circumstances, it is because you are being presented with opportunity after opportunity to work upon these issues until you get it right. Eventually, you will choose a way of behavior that is more positive. Once you've successfully identified these issues within your life, work upon them and use them as the tools for transformation that they are to improve the quality of your character. You will notice that things seem to almost cease to appear in your life. You will stay present with them at varying intervals to check that you have not forgotten what you have learned, but they will be fewer and fewer and far between. And I don't think we will get done with this. So we're going to have to pick up with this because I have things I got. Man, this is so good. We'll pick up with going to work on yourself. We'll have part 2 of the conclusion, right? Oh, well, thanks for staying around. This is just phenomenal stuff. I mean, I read Earl Nightingale. I read Brian Tracy. I read the Tibetan Book of the Dead. I read, the Gnostics, the Apocrypha. And what we're doing is that we're panning for gold here. And holy crap, we're finding nuggets right and left, man. Woof! Wow. I mean, folks, this could change literally our lives. Every one of us, me included, literally can change our lives. Okay, well, thank you for wow. when you get so much truth into you, it has a buzz about it. At least it does for me. I can physically feel the buzz. And it's like we were just in another dimension. At least that's how it feels for me when reading it. It's well, thank you, Infinite Frequencies. Thank you, Kaz, Sabrina. It's just all of y'all. Much love to you. Brian taught us, he left a lasting gift of the simplicity of unconditional love. And his words resonate. We are going to be the frequency that we want to receive. And that first requires us to put it out there, and we're going to get it back. Thank you, Lost in Space. Much love to you. Thank you, Tanya. Appreciate that. Paul, Joe, thank you. Well, thank you all for sticking around. Have yourselves a prosperous day. I just want to invoke a spell of prosperity that I speak upon everyone that hears my voice. I come between that and the disruption, the agitations, and just speak prosperity in all its many forms upon you. Receive it, and it'll start manifesting. That's how spells work, folks. It's a spell for a spell to be a spell. I like that one, David Barry. All right, folks. Much love to you. See y'all tomorrow. Have yourself a great one. Bye-bye.